Hey everybody, welcome. We're going to check out this midweek Phantom Quick Draft. Everybody gets one for free. It's Quick Draft, so that means bots, which is interesting turnaround time on bot draft. I'm going to call that out first thing. They don't launch a new set with bot draft available because if they did, it would be the bots would be informed purely on internal like R&D card rankings and internal play testing. Like if you had your employees do some test drafts as you're building the set, you could inform your bot AI on that. But really, Wizards wants to inform the bot drafts on player picks so that it mines data from Magic Online and from early draft results by humans in the format to define the pick orders for the bots that they then use for that. So in this case, this is relatively early for when they've offered Quick Draft previously. This kind of represents probably a faster turnaround. They work something out to make sure the early draft data got quickly handed over to those who needed it to populate the bots with logic to do some semblance of sensible drafting. And the bots do some semblance of sensible drafting. I hope so. I helped work on these bots. The bot project kicked off with me as the designer. The bottom line goal was to provide a no clock draft experience. We had several solutions on the table that we were considering for this. There's Eternal has like an endless draft table solution. The problem with that solution is that no packs wheel. The good part of that solution is that technically all humans have made the picks out of every one of the packs, but it's really weird. No matter how you slice it, it's going to be weird. If you're, but it had real problems, right? I mean, and classically, I mean, if you're a game designer, your job is really picking which problem is the least annoying, you know, which solutions problems you can live with most easy, right? And also execution. Like the thing with bot draft, it was very easy to execute. This was very low-hanging fruit. It ends up better experience than bots, but with a lot more work. And this kind of evolved because we needed to. It started because it was very difficult to test draft in on the arena team because you would need like 7 other people initially, right out of the gate. It's hard to test because it was just set up to be humans. And so if you didn't have 7 other humans to join your table, you couldn't test draft. And really a no logic bot was set up to enable better testing, just to have so that a tester alone could seat the table with 7 pickers and at least have a draft function. And so it was very, very low hanging fruit to use card pick order data we had from humans plus bots that were already in the system to marry them together and have baseline representational. I mean, you know, like it represents drafting fairly enough to get the job done and it was like, okay, we tried it, it was like, okay, this feels good enough. And classically, you're just trying to do 7 million things on any given game project, and good enough becomes what lasts for 10 years because it's all about, is the return on investment worth it? So like the Alexis is not wrong, and anybody who comes up with their awesome system idea for how to make bot drafting much better, or how to make no clock drafting a better experience, yeah, you're probably right, but the hardline business decision is whether that's then worth spending the money on internally over something else, because you could be spending that time and money on something else. Is that where you want to prioritize that effort? And really what they want Quick Draft to do is be good enough to get people comfortable with drafting, but then bad enough to convince people to then graduate to the all human experience and get over that wall. So sometimes the lesser experience is, in a sense, a combination of by design, because it's kind of doing what it's supposed to do, and by inertia, I'm not going to take my precious resources to make this unimportant corner of the whole client experience a little bit better. That spiel being done here. See, now since this is the YouTube, I was getting called out for blawing, but now I'm blawing to YouTube, so it counts as drafting. But let's actually get to drafting. If you would like to check out my sponsor, cardkingdom.com, it would really help me out. They don't offer phantom drafts, but if you want to get actual drafts going, you can get some boosters from them and do some sealed, some drafts with your friends at home, whatnot. But let's take this freebie. What's the prize here? I also want to look. Cosmetic card. Yeah, there's no gold prize. I just want to. Sometimes Wizards offers a free event that pays out in gold or gems, and when Wizards is offering each account free entry into an event that pays out gold or gems, that's a great day to try making a side account if you haven't done that, because you can just abandon a side account where you lose in that draft and just stick with an account where you win in that free draft and actually get a free draft's worth of boost to your second account, which you can do if you're looking to free-to-play draft as much as you want. All right, let's check these bots. Thank you, Card Kingdom. Remember to use my affiliate links. Helps keep me on the air. Draft view here. And then no clock. Now I could, anything, want to talk about coffee, something else? There's no clock here. I can take as long as I want. Let's check the rare slot first, though. And what are we thinking? Typically, when I try to press on the bots, I'm asking myself, does the community have a conventional wisdom best deck? And do the bots know what it is? And are they, so like I've heard black red, for example, is the deck I've heard conventional wisdom out there say is kind of the current favorite. So I like taking this black rare here. I mean, it's just a flying 2/1 with upside, right? Oh yeah, I had this against our opponent played this against me when I had the demon that opponent gets blood tokens whenever they cast a spell. So it's kind of somewhat of a non-bow, but then my demon leveraging of the blood tokens was better than my opponent's blood caster, but we'll take that for sure. You like it? Oh, yeah, maybe am I just overvaluing it over the good removal? Maybe. I'm still taking it. It's rare. Come on. And try it out. Ancestral Anger. Gift of Fangs seems like it could play both ways in this deck. I'm going to reserve that as I look around. Thanks for the data, Media. What category is those numbers from? Wins in deck, in hand, in pool. But since this match is also cutting colors to the left matters a lot more in bot draft than it does in human draft, because the way the bots are, if they're still programmed the way that they were when I left, and again, because of resource allocation, I imagine they basically are, when the bots get a couple of cards in a couple of colors, they lock down on that color pair. And so if you can deny the bots downstream, even the chance of getting a couple of good cards in your main color, you can really take all the bots out of your color, out of one of your colors, and then really get paid off for that in the rest of the draft. Yeah, it really feels like killing 2 toughness things for 1 mana that aren't vampires is pretty fine. Wonder what percentage of like a question for me on a card like this is like, how many common and uncommon creatures does this kill that people are happy to play? And if it's a really low count, then you're probably right. It's an underperformer. But so far for me, I've found something I'm happy to kill for 1 mana every time. Media says all of them are vampires. I call. Yeah, this is quick draft, which is going to be my slowest draft format because there's no clock. Yeah, let's look at these red uncommons. Again, I also don't know these cards very well. I'm still learning all this. So red-black is vamps. So if we took a vampire, that would be pushing into a tribal lane that is well supported. Alluring Suitor, 2/3 that attacks with 2, turns into a 3/3 trample. And when it transforms, you get red-red. And you can pump it. I like, again, we've seen this. This is, sometimes you see somebody come up with a good idea in a card design, and then it starts to echo in sets nearby. And again, we've seen red give you sudden free mana, but the trick that I'm loving from design is sudden free mana, but the card itself has a built-in way to use that sudden free mana if you don't have a spell to cast with it, for example. So I do like that design. Now let's look at this one. Markov Retribution, 2 and a red. Choose one or both. Vampire Punch or Vampire Pump. Yeah, we were talking about that, Scotty. That this is early for bot draft, and that they had to have made a real effort to gather and implement the data quickly. And look, I get to do things like run polls. This is what I used to do back in the day when this was the only way to draft. We did this all the time. Here, I'll do a 20-second poll. Do we want Retribution? Man, remember when we had the draft assistant? You all could pick. You all could show me what you wanted to pick, and I could just look. Oh, those were the days. So, Suitor. I'll put Butler on the list. If we started, we got 2 black cards. We could, again, in this format, cutting a color is real. So even if Butler isn't great, like cutting a color is super real. So I'll put that on there, and then I'll put other. And if you want to, if you think one of these commons is what we should take, like the Celebrant, I just don't think you would take a Celebrant over these 2 though. So or any of the, yeah, I don't think you're taking any of the commons. I'm serious, but you can say other if you think there's something else here. But if you say other, you got to tell me what. Suitor for 10. Okay. Twitch plays Magic. Oh, it's both, not a choice. No, I didn't quite process that. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. That pumps it up for me for sure. But it still seems like a vampire card, right? Like how many if I have 0 vampires, I'm not running that. So how many vampires do you need before you're happy to run that? That becomes my new question with that. But no, I did not process that card correctly. I haven't really played a Socialite yet, but this seems so powerful. Yeah, it's obviously you need vamps, so I'm just wondering philosophically how many do you think that line is? Probably at least 6. Like if you don't have 6, it's not reliable enough as a fight spell. But I think at 6 I'd be happy. But if I have 6 and my vampires are small, though, that's another. I mean, that's where the +1 really matters, right? Yeah, we can take Celebrant. Dies into a blood token, which is just whatever. Has first strike attacking, so it's pretty aggressive. Pivot to Lumberknot. Yeah, we could do the toughness matters. I do want. I want to continue. If I do, I'm gonna lean to the Socialite on color. Like I want to be a heavy of one color. You take the Lumberknot, really? I'm gonna take the Socialite. I like trying to lean towards the conventional wisdom quote best deck, which people. I mean, if you think I'm wrong about that, it's red, black. Tell me. Oh yeah, this is this one that you just want to be good, and then it just actually seems very medium. Yes, cutting is stronger. I'm not gonna, you know. I try to explain why it's stronger. The bots are very rigid, so if you can cut a color hard in pack 1, you can kind of deny all the bots downstream from getting into your color at all, and sometimes that echoes down 4 or 5 seats, and you can really become one of only 2 drafters in a color. You've seen this be good? Against real players, it's much less important because you don't know how powerful your signals are working. Some human will marry a first pick black rare, and no matter what you do, they're not getting off of black, right? That's a thing that can happen against humans. Bots don't do that. If they had a first pick rare, but then you denied them black, they would find another lane, right? Just bots are better than humans at finding another lane if the card quality is suggesting to do that. All right, back to this. I guess we could try. Like, this seems it just seems worse to me than a. Oh no, wait, sorry. This is a different one. This I'm willing to try. I was thinking of this as the one that turns into a 3/3 flyer. Sorry, there's that 1/3 that opponent controls whether it flips. Let me read. This has a lot of words. It's not really a reading stream, but I'll try. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, create a blood token. Okay, and then you sack 2 to transform. But if you get blood tokens elsewhere, you don't need the life gain clause. But then you get a 3/3 that can drain. Yeah, I think if it's a vampire, and if we do end up in vampires, we're going to be making extra blood tokens regardless. And maybe from here, by focusing on the black, we end up actually in white, and we are gaining life. Yeah, I was thinking of the discard one, I think. This one's annoying. Specimen. Scavenger. This one. It's threat of activation. I mean, if you've got no 4 toughness on your side of the battlefield, what are you going to do when I come at you? And I got mana open and probably a land in hand. Best black common after bleed dry. Is that your personal opinion? Is that the 17 lands opinion? Was that your personal opinion before backed up by 17 lands? Or did 17 lands inform a personal opinion? I'm asking because, again, I'm still trying to take my cues from people who've played more of this than me. But this card seems whatever to me. And I played it yesterday, and it felt kind of whatever to me. Yeah, we drained once. That was all right. It's a vampire spawn for 4 mana, though. I guess it gets, but it gets anything. It's vampire spawn that you have to work to get the drain, costs 1 more mana, but then its upside is that it trades with just anything on the ground. Yeah, it triggers life gain, but I'm saying Media's calling it second best common. All right. Well, then I will attempt to. Well, how about I'll attempt to learn a lesson then. Although I do like again the lacerate flesh. It's clunky, but you would do it. But again, the presence of extra black cards in here is a disappointment because like we're not fully cutting black here. A bot downstream could get into black from this pack. But we'll take this and I'll see about it. This is the one that's like a reanimate or a zombify or a raise dead, right? And this is a blood token raise dead. We could probably take that. What's this? Statue seems reasonable. I'm surprised. I assumed that if the bots were letting this be here, an uncommon artifact be here this late, that it would be pretty medium. But this likes... I mean... a mana rock that becomes a 5/5, I could get behind. It's not weird that you like the trick. But I'm gonna, this seems pretty good to me. That's my instinct, and Chad isn't yelling at me with that instinct, so we'll give it a try. Here's another scavenger. Want another one? I guess. We could take a specimen, though, for future shenanigans. I kind of like first specimen over second scavenger in terms of card variety, but this is, again, I continue to not see the light on the scavenger yet. Sharpshooter has overperformed. I think this has been good. Is this any kind of signal? You want to consider something like that? Well, exactly. I mean, look, if I do this, if I do that, and say specimen is a hedge towards exploit, that's what I would, that's what I'm talking about. All right, I'll take more scavengers, but see, I like Rot Tide if we have specimens, but I will acknowledge that, like, I have what has to be considered a very good version of a blue-black sacrifice deck, and it still doesn't feel super solid. It feels, Farmer here. Yeah, again, this is... the problem with exploit is that, like, if you take the exploit text off of these creatures, they're all underrate. Like, if you are not doing the exploit thing, you are so unhappy with these cards. You still like the Gargantua? I'm gonna go with Farmer on curve, but Trainee still being here seems interesting. Sure Strike, Villager, Sure Strike to, let's we can put this back in. We do have a decent red card. What do you think? Hedge on a white card? You're off, Trainee. It was working for me in my early play. Yeah, Hodge says Trainee's really good. Medi is saying I'm off it. I've had Hodge's experience. I don't know if 17 Lands has anything to say about that. But I'll take this. I'll take another red card. More white cards. Nothing here that I want. Uncommon. I don't think any of this matters. Undying Malice isn't unplayable. Piercing Light, probably also not unplayable, but you're not happy about that as your interaction. Quartermaster is a reason to get into white, but Bleed Dry is a reason to just stay black. Take the good removal. Rare missing here. Let's see what else we got. I don't mind a Blood Fountain in a deck. Is this, or do we do Statuette? Want to do just lean into Vamps here? Blood Fountain is just solid value, but this is kind of build around if we're doing the thing. But I don't know if we're doing enough blood tokening yet. Maybe we will. Yeah, I'll take a Blood Fountain, as I know that this we can run that. Hey! What did I tell you about the power of cutting, huh? We only got this because we cut black hard. So there you go. And that probably doesn't happen against humans. The other, right? A human might even consider that a reason to pivot in pack 2 and just take it away from you. But the bots will give it to you. Now what? So now like, this is so powerful. Well, that's what I mean, animosity, right? Like, that's what a human would think. But the bots don't think that way. Yeah, Awakening certainly gets better when you've got a Dreadfast Demon to reanimate. Heck, we could even potentially blood token it away and then bring it and cast it on turn 5. Let's do that. Let's play to our demon. We need a Pyre Spawn. Here's another statuette. We do want blood tokens to, if we want to try and make this thing happen. I don't know what else we're taking here. We don't have a second color though. Yeah, we could just take the text. That's what I was saying. Like I see this red and think that I should be looking at red, but really we just don't have a second color. So Taxidermist is fine, especially given that it ramps to either the demon itself or even potentially Taxidermist plus Rummage plus Awakening on 4. We could potentially Dreadfast Demon on 4. That's a little life goal here. We're not necessarily green either, but I think it's gotta... Is this green's best uncommon? Anyway, I like this card a lot. Kiss, I do not like. Hearse? Is this worth splashing, though? I see a 2-mana gold card and don't think of it as a splash. And yeah, I do think Reckless Impulse is a playable card, so let's take that. I'm with Haj here. Oh no, Rob likes it? Dang it. Ugh, it's like cognitive dissonance in my head right now. Haj, Rob, same card. See? Look at what cutting in bot draft gets you, right? We've made black wide open. I don't know about the red. I don't know even what Vengeance we're talking about, but there's no non-black card I'm taking over Hero's Downfall in this pile. Yeah, this Wolf is playable. The Scorp, maybe more what the deck needs plan-wise, though. I think in the abstract, this is a better card. But in terms of our deck's plan with the Demon lurking, I like the Scorp here. And even with Blood Token, I have a hard time seeing this as having a card's worth of value. Unless I am really doing the Blood Token thing. Yes, Pablo, that's totally fair. I at least try to talk, when I do it, I talk through what I'm doing and why, right? You take the white uncommon. Yeah, I suppose, again, we're not so locked into a color that I shouldn't consider this. So it's more life gain, but black-white is the life gain deck. So, yeah, we could hedge on the bystander. But I kind of, yeah, I'm going to take second green card over first white card, though. That's just where I'm at. But now we get Kindly Ancestor, which is really quite good, honestly. So now I'm regretting that. I think I might take this here. I think it's enough better than Sharpshooter that we should take this and consider it. Do we want to self-mill enchant? Do we care? I guess, I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, like in terms of the Demon and Edgar's thing, but I was thinking of doing that with blood tokens, not, or blood tokens, not self-mill. All right, sounds like this is an interesting pick with a lot of people divided. I'm gonna let Twitch play magic and pull this one. That's what I like about Quick Draft. We can do it slow. So, kindly for the ancestor, crawling for the self mill. I'm gonna even put mulch on the list. If we're talking about green self mill, you might just want mulch here. And then sharp for the sharpshooter. We're not taking the Witch's Web, and we're not taking Undying Malice. I already have one, and probably would not ever play two, but I don't mind one. Anyway, let's see what you all think. I'm going to make it 20 seconds, though. We don't need 30 seconds. And if the green vote is split, I may consider rerunning it for if like the green combines to beat Ancestor, I may rerun with the most popular green card. But kindly defeats Sharpshooter and Mulch, so we'll go ahead and take it. Here's the massive might that could have been a consideration before. I certainly like 1-mana tricks. They are like twice as good as 2-mana tricks, maybe even more than twice. This has seemed too clunky to me. Has anybody had any success with this? Somebody was saying early on that they thought this was okay, but to me that just felt like way too expensive a mana sink. And then Shield Basher is really a plant for the whole reverse mentoring, you know, the trainee, right? 4 power, it's going to train everything, and indestructible, it's going to live to train him again next turn. Do I have one? Yeah, we have one already. So here I can even put some of this white back in to recognize that that we have some in that direction. So yeah, especially if we're taking things like Ancestor at this point, should keep all this in mind. Here, ooh, well, payoff for the life gain or more life gain? I still think it's just Ancestor, right? Let's see our curve. Maybe that will help me understand. Yeah, like if we're not red or green, our curve is really bad at 2. So maybe that's a tiebreaker. Yeah, lifelink Shield Basher is a way to stay alive. Gosh, this is almost another poll. I see chat leaning both ways on this as well. Yeah, both of these are kind of eating your veggies, though, in some ways. But this is probably what the deck needs a little more, you're right. Okay. Alexis breaks the tie. Now I can blame her. Daybreak. We tried this, and it felt... Of course, somebody's beaten me with it since, but I tried this, and it did not work out that well. I don't think we care about any of these, but I'll take this. Well, I'll take this in case we're somehow doing that. We're never doing that. Gaining 3 would be all right, but we're not main decking that in best of 1. Might still here. I'll leave that in as we consider. I mean, we're not even guaranteed white yet. The only thing we know for sure is that we're playing black. Oh, okay, never mind. We are for sure white-black. Welcome to the white-black deck. I'm announcing it right now. All right, so we're going to take that. We're going to lock in. We are a white-black deck. Another Ancestor here. Mind Leech is a solid 2, but not solid enough to take over Ancestor in this case, I don't think. This is a green bomb. Am I supposed to reconsider now? Jeez. splash announcement. That's true. We could splash announcement. Can't splash this, but we do have taxidermist and the. All right. Well, now I got to pull this stuff back in. Magic! Why you gotta be so hard? Well, so we like it, I guess. Too heavy black to play this? I wouldn't think that way. Yes, in your whenever you're as heavy in a color as we are in black, and especially with the double blacks, the dream come true is that your second color has no 2-color costs in it, and then you can do an easy 10-7 or even an 11-6 if your secondary color doesn't really come online until till 3 or later in your curve. But I don't think you use that kind of awareness as a reason to not take something as good as Oddity. If you end up taking this and being a green deck, you are super happy to say, okay, well, we don't get the benefit of that sweet 10-7, 11-6 mana base, but we get the benefit of this bomb rare. There's that frog that's kind of... I kind of want to see this do something, but I don't think we're going to be doing it here. Word formatting. Oh, Siriana, hang in there. Yeah. Oh, man. Circle of Confinement, though, if we are heavy white... Well, okay. Where are we at? Are we trying? Let me. I'm just curious where you're at, chat. What do you think is the most likely scenario for how this deck plays out from here, in terms of non-black color? Pretty close. Because I'm trying to figure, I agree that the pick here is Sharpshooter versus Confinement, depending on where we're headed. But Confinement could conceivably be splashable. I don't love splashing removal that's intended for smaller mana targets, but you can do worse. So I'm just wondering, if we take this, would we still splash it? We're not going to like splash a Sharpshooter. And we can, yes, Invitation is absolutely worth, or Announcement is worth splashing. But I think I'm gonna take this. It's just a better card. We'll see. Both of these are medium removal given our deck. We're not heavy wolves, and this is underperformed. Well, underperformed. This has done exactly what we all expected, which is to say, have the extreme downside of all aura enchant aura base removal. Cathars is, yeah, heavy green, splash the Announcement. That could have been a both answer or a green answer, depending. So, but here that's a real pick here. But with, yeah, Scorpion, that helps the strike. We do need 2 drops. Yeah, maybe we just take the good call, Mike. We could. I'm sitting here so focused on figuring out what our splash is. I'm ignoring the 2-drop in our core color. Probably the smart thing to do here in pack 3, because we're not going to play both green and white to this extent. So really, we have at most 4 2-drops right now. Quick Draft, aka Slow Draft. Catapult Fodder. We passed the green-black uncommon over the suggestions of some in chat previously. That would have been a nice pickup for that deck. Oh, here it is right there. That's what I'm talking about. We could take it now. Think we wheel this? Or should we just take this? That's funny. I was talking about all on this and thinking about this card and didn't even see it is in the pack. Yeah, another Mana Dork is here. Whoo! We're not really doing this thing, right? Yeah, I'm on Weaver. I think the Team Weaver is correct here. And if I don't even know if we want that one. Evolving Wilds for 3 color, but another Ancestor says we could just be white-black again. Did that. Boom. Take Ancestor, and we're just a white-black deck, and it looks pretty good. You like Wilds? Oh, man. Somehow chat is more into splashing than I am these days. Oh, really? Adamant Will? All right, everybody wants green, black, splash, white. We can take the Evolving Wilds. There's a 2-drop we could grab for doing green, black, splash, white. But probably just want this one. Or just a 2/2 bear over... and we don't have wolves and werewolves, really, right? We have 0 werewolves and 0 wolves. 0 and 0. So, yeah, Disciple at best. Well, it's still in there, but no, I think it's counting the whole, it doesn't matter if it's in the main deck or maybe it does. Maybe it's counting main deck. But here, I can put it back. I don't think we had any, though. Scorpion. Oh, maybe that Oddity. Oh, Weaver. There's your 1, right? 1. It's still not enough. Unless this is 2. Yeah, that's not even a werewolf. That's kind of where I was at Moon Salt, honestly. You saw me. I was leaning just, hey, let's just go black white. But oh, you were on green white. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways I guess you could push this. But yeah, no, sorry, we were on the same page. I was leaning towards black white, but chat was really pushing the other direction. So I was like, all right, I'll go with chat. We can take Ghoul here to solidify 2s, or Sharpshooter, which again is a better card. But I know I'm going to play this, so I'll take it. Here's another Ancestor. I'm taking that over the Wolf. Too good. What a weird draft. There's your Sharpshooter. There's your Sharpshooter. Trainee. We have a pack 3 pick 12 dilemma. Yeah, Ghoul have been very good in mid, right? Although turning a decay token into a discard. I know we'll be doing some Crimson Vow Midnight Hunt crossover drafting at some point, and those synergies will become quite apparent when that happens. All right. No, I think Kindly Ancestor has got to be one of the top performing white commons, right? I mean, I've heard that Adamant Will is up there, or is at the top, but this is what keeps dragging me back into main white as the decision. And I guess I'll take a Sharpshooter because this isn't really a trainee deck. If there is such a thing, I'm hearing chat say the luster has come off this card. I was getting it to work decently early in my experiences, but it had some... You really need to get it going, and if not, you've got this wildly underwhelming card, and it's a terrible defensive card, right? Unless you're attacking, this is just awful. It's a 2-drop, yeah. But if we're heavy green, which it's looking like we are, just because the like if we look at it this way, and then maybe we're running a circle, maybe. See, we still have endless cuts. I'm going to go ahead and take the sharpshooter. But interesting that there was a relevant pick. And hey, look, we get the best white common last pick. All right. Well, boy, this definitely has 2 builds. You could make a couple of builds with this pile. You're playing black every time. But what if we just said... boom. And then I don't know if this is, maybe I'm being greedy to think 16 in best of 1. The reason I was thinking 16, despite the 7, is really the statue and the taxidermist representing mana sources 17 and 18. Oh, and we have Weaver as well as even a 19th. See, so I think it's okay to go 16 here with 3 mana dorks and best of 1. It's a little greedy, though. I acknowledge that. Our split is 17-8. Our most likely cuts involve... Here, let me get into deck building view. Put some cuts over here. Malice, Might. I think with the quality of our best creature, I want the Blood Fountain in. Gift of Fangs. Media is not impressed, but I still like a deadweight on we were talking about what percentage of the commons and uncommons does this get. I don't know if we got an answer to that, but if you showed me that this really didn't get anything, or a very, very tiny percent of the format, then I could see saying, okay, yeah, I'm probably overrating it, or I've just had experiences where I've gotten lucky and found those targets. Yeah, we do have some vamps to put it on. And so let's find, what's our least favorite critter? Kind of like all these critters. We could even cut a 2, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if we wanted. Like, this Disciple is pretty medium. Restless Bloodseeker is bad. Oh, well, let me see what our blood token count is. Because if we're not making a lot of tokens, I agree with you. But let me see. So this gets 1. This gets him if you gain life, but we're not doing the heavy white. This dies into blood tokens. Doesn't... No, we didn't take the other one that dies into tokens. This makes 1. And this doesn't do blood tokens. Oh, anything dies. Yeah, thanks. Has to be you control, though. You control and non-token, but yeah, that makes a lot of blood tokens. So... I think by the end of the game, I think this is still... You're right that it's not as good as I was thinking it was, but I don't think it's, like, quote, bad in the deck. Maybe it's below replacement, though. Just because a 1/3 that you eventually get to turn into a 3/3 that drains, that's a nice late game mana sink there. And eventually you're going to get the blood tokens that allow you to sack and flip it. Thanks, Seagarp. All right, so let's do final cut. Nominate your final cut. And there's also like Malice and, you know, these are pretty medium cards over here as well. But boy, saving your Dreadfast Demon with an Undying Malice would be sweet. Ghoul is the worst 2-drop called. Yeah, I agree. I think that we're not an exploit deck, and so this is largely a Grizzly Bear. I agree with Mike that if we cut a 2-drop, it should be the Ghoul. And you know what? I'm going to do that. Let's just cut that and go. This has been interesting, but I want to play. And we're going to say... There's a wedding announcement deck. It's a demon dread wedding. I'll go with some Avons. Oops, doesn't like it that way. Funky draft. Interesting to navigate. Thanks for all your opinions and poll answering. Well, we'll think about it. We'll see if it's Disciple or otherwise. Hop over here. Sure. That's a keep. Well, let's play the Bloodcaster and make them answer it. And if they do, we get another blood token that we can immediately cast and flip into a 3/3. So I'm going to lead with our rare. Could even take that offer, but I'm not going to take the offer just because we have that possibility. I'd rather just play the Bloodseeker and start bounce blocking that. You can play the Bloodseeker. And let's see what we want to do. Distracting Geist, of course, going to knock this down on blocks. So the question is, are we trying to save blood tokens to flip this, or do we want to rummage away our extra land? I'm not sure what is correct, but we can talk about it. I feel like I want to try and get a blood token. We can play Scavenger alongside Seeker next turn, and then we have something that's going to block. So, yeah, I like not... I'm going to hold the blood token for now, bottom line. Because if we can flip this and activate, we really come back from... Ooh, hello, rare. Always worried about rares I haven't seen in this set. Especially gold ones. 4/4, other vamps, Vamp Lord, when it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed, and at that point, it's a coffin and artifact, and it creates vampires with lifelink, and puts a blood counter, and then 3 more blood counters, and it transforms back. What a cool card. Cool card. But yeah, that certainly answers the question about what we're doing with the blood token. We're going to rummage. Rummage looking for exile removal. All right, well, we can... Too late on that. Darn it. But we can go... We can still cast it. Oh, sorry, never mind. I was thinking... because of the mana rock nature of it, I was thinking it was a rock that turned into a 5/5, not a creature that turned into a 5/5. Sorry, I thought we were two-spelling that turn. I'm going to still send the Bloodcaster, though. Yeah, good point, Hat. So it doesn't flip as fast as I thought, too, as an alternate part of that. This is awfully suspicious, but given the state of things, I'm happy to try and make this trade. We get blood token. We can now drain to get a little bit of a better life cushion. But really, again, we're just trying to find our exile removal for that feller. We got one bleed dry. Right. Life gain will give us that token. That's really good. Oh, and an Undying Malice is also not super sucky. So some things are slightly Millhousey here.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Especially in the true Millhouse sense of, it's still not going great for Millhouse. It's still not going great for Millhouse. But some things were coming up. So now we got blockers that we can rely on, but now they got an attacker that's really tough for us to manage. Am I still sending the Bloodcaster? I suppose so. I don't know how else we're winning this game. Besides that continuing to clock in for 2. And then we can try to Malice our way. You can even do a... Is this... Okay, activating only as a sorcery. So unfortunately, the blood token was made at a time where we could no longer use it to do the flip. Yeah, we can undie this. I was just thinking of undying the Scavenger, though, right? And do we go ahead and start the Edgar process and just be at least like, okay, well, you're going to grind through Edgar and we're going to look for our answer? No, but this just comes right back, right? Thing is, and also we kind of just got to take the Shield Basher. The Shield Basher is tough news here. We can do this, and then at least even bring our Scavenger back. Oh, do we get it? Maybe we get it. Yeah, we get it! Sweet! I didn't know that was going to work. I mean, I knew that was going to work. Don't tell them what you meant to make. Tell them what you made. That was sweet to understand and good to know. Because that, I mean, that happened to work for one of the most bombiest such cards in the format, but this is going to work for a lot of cards like that. I mean, I don't know. A lot of them have a window anyway. This one I didn't think had a window, but there it was. There it was. Oh, still learning Magic 10 years later. So now let's flip this at sorcery speed. I know I want to do that. And maybe it's just time to start firing this off. And that we can actually win the race that way. We got an Undying Malice and a statue. I mean, to bring back a statue, it doesn't seem great. We could cast it for free, though. We could rummage and get something back for free. Maybe that's not the worst. But I just feel like at 10 life, we get 2 in, they're at 8. We do this, we're at 10, they're at 6. Yeah, we can totally do it all, right? But I just don't know if we should just be draining to try and win. Right. We're definitely going to, like, do the... Well, I got 0 on Hourglass here, so I got to figure this out. I guess I'm going to do this. I'll do the value play. And then I'll still do this. And then we flip it. And then I send this turn. We leave everything else back on D. Oh, is the format wrong? Sorry. Where's my... Oh, down there. I hear you. Is Vow quick? So do we just take this, or are we in chump mode with this thing? Oh, thanks for that reminder too. But we'll do quick here. I'll do quick. Sorry, my machine is complaining at me as I attempt to type, you know. Entering characters into Streamlabs is obviously the hardest thing for my computer to do. All right. I don't even know what's going on, but chat says take it. So I know that if I die because I took it, it's chat's fault. So that seems fine.
I'm the magnificent, marvelous Madam Mim.
Well, Oppo dumped hand. What does that do for us? I guess we're still just, now I like trying to get there on the whole Bloodcaster drain. It's a 2-turn clock. You'd swing all, yeah, maybe I'm not, I'm a little distracted here trying to do too many things at once, I think. But if we can survive our next turn with this and this alive, so we'll be at 6 life. We use these 2 to block the biggest. Are we just dead? Because we block like this, and then they come for 1, 2. Yeah, I think we have chumps. No, then we got to block this, right? 1, 2, like 3. And then we still take 5? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go with that plan. They're empty-handed, so we have the blocks to win unless they draw removal, right? Yeah, the gain 1 from Witch. Sorry, I played that turn too quickly, but hopefully we still find a way here. And let me make sure this isn't sorcery speed only. Okay. Well, does it really matter? Oh, that's true. They gain 1 with Minister, so it's not Xaxes. Oof. Oh, and that's a good point, Mike. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. Too much going on. But we get an extra from the Witch if the Witch lives. So maybe we just got to block so the Witch lives somehow? So that's chump chump, and then okay. But then we have to chump both, right? So we don't have to chump both. We chump one. I think we got it if this is blank, right? Let's do this now. Because then we go keep the drainer and chump with the scavenger on the one that will actually die. And then, yeah, I say chump. Chump trade. I'm sorry. I'm not using correct magic words. I'm just mean, when I'm saying chump here, I mean prevent the damage from more than anything. So we do this, we go to 2, and then we have a win if they don't have anything to interfere with our plan. You can kill the witch. But then I think we kill you. All right. Well, some sketchy moves here and there, but scoreboard? Scoreboard. Let's go with scoreboard. Which is now correct. Now we got to keep this, but if we get stuck on 2, this could be frustrating. But great looking hand with any land. Start with Bloodcaster again. You like Disciple first? This is more likely to be able to attack successfully next turn. I don't care that much if it dies. Mike says Disciple. I'm going to go with Bloodcaster. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but if we get another mana, I'm going to statue. Maybe I'll Weaver. But Magic's not going to let that happen anyway. Well then, at least we got to play. Oh, that was human. Sorry, I could have played that in attack. My bad. Reading is fundamental. Might want to double block the wolf anyway. Yeah, I just missed it. I miss a lot. This would be a 1-for-1. Are we flipping this anytime soon? All we need is a blood token to flip this, and then it's pretty good. Yeah, we could just get blood tokens, and then at least we can rummage away looking for land. So You say you block for sure. I'm just hesitating because this is obviously quite a good card if we can flip it and start attacking, right? But I'll follow Alexis's advice so I can blame the loss on her. Still only a 3-3, but I'm talking about cracking back the other direction into their, at that point, 2-2 and 2-3, where we're draining them and presumably getting in. But green deck gathering mana, as I say, eventually we're probably, against green, we're not going to be very happy with a 3-3 on the ground. And it turns out, thanks to this rare, we are instantly unhappy. All right, I'm gonna ditch one of these sharpshooters and look for a land. Kinda could scoop this one up. I mean, all we need is a third land, and this hand looks great. Yeah, I guess we have a Scorpion, so we should give it one more turn here. But that's a lot of damage coming our way. I'll leave the Bloodcaster back now, and we got a double block, and... Oh, look! Thank you! Scorp or Weaver... I guess we need Scorpion. Something's got to die here. And that something would be us.
Is this a dead man, Doctor?
Very dead, Mr. Spock.
Oh, so you guys, this is nice, though. I like this. Let's take a second to think about the design of this event. What is it for? Who is it for? Why is it for? I think there's that way in which getting newer players over the hump of draft fear, it's so important. Any newer players can testify to that? Like, were you intimidated by draft at first, and then when you got over the hurdle of that initial intimidation, you're like, oh, yeah, this is actually for me, right? And this is a way to try to help people get over that. And by having it play endlessly, like, it's not tracking losses, which I think is when you're trying to appeal to a player who is nervous about the experience, maybe not as good at the game, maybe learning the ropes of this format. It feels good to be able to say, okay, well, or like you had 3 bad draws with this deck. You could still keep playing it because you know it has potential or something. But I really like the fact that it's not putting losses in the newer player's face. It's saying, look, welcome to draft. Take as long as you need. You don't get to keep the cards here, but we're letting you play for free. First hit is free, they say. I don't know whose philosophy that is. Some genius salesperson understood that the give him the first one free. Oh, you know, is what's her name? I don't know her. I can't remember her name. Well, Mrs. I can remember her first name. I can remember her last name, but Mrs. Fields, like whoever, Mrs. Fields Cookies. She gave away her business was about to go into the tank. She was about to go bankrupt, and then started giving out free cookies at the mall, and then suddenly Mrs. Fields cookies were extremely popular because she gave the first cookie free. But yes, I was talking about drug dealers. Anyway, your pusher here is Wizards of the Coast. The drug is drafting, and you just got to get the newer players over that fear a little bit. And this is seems like a good way to do it. I especially just noticed the lack of loss tracking and what that represents for this format and who it's for. So let's go knock some noob heads around and make them wish they'd never started drafting. Classic! 2 lands again, this time only 1 color. Hero's Downfall needs extra help. We are any land away from a 2-play curve out, but then things get sketchy if we don't specifically find a 4th land that includes a swamp after that. And if we don't find swamps quickly, we're not going to be super happy with this. But we are on the draw with a defensive play on 2, so I'm going to keep it. Mike says not even a very good curve out. That's fair. I'm playing more of an attrition-y decision here and just knowing that I have a very good blocker on 2 already shorn up. I've got 3 draws to any land to land a sharpshooter. That just felt good enough to me. And now we got lucky on the Weaver draw because now we can obviously play a Mana Dork, which is going to be better than a sharpshooter in this spot. It was close, though. I was very much considering the mull, but it was the draw and play was the difference for me there. If we'd been on the play, I would have mulliganed. But on the draw with a defensive 2-drop, I was ready to try and draw my way out of this. I get it, but I mean that was Plan A was not desperation block with Scorpion. Plan A is find your land and get going, right? And Plan A got there. Plan B was block with Scorpion. Yeah, I should have done, as usual, I forgot to figure out my combat before. I think of Scorpion as so defensive that I didn't even think about attacking with it, but I'm actually going to attack with it. I just should have done it before I cast my Weaver, that's all. It didn't really change anything, they weren't going to block, but that's why I should have thought through my attacks, that there's no way the Mana Dork statue is going to block my 1/1. Never. And if they did, that would be a fist pump for us. Blossom gives us 5 mana this turn. We could Bloodcaster and Sharpshooter. We only have 2 black, so we don't get to Hero's Downfall and Bloodcaster. But I like Sharpshooter, Bloodcaster. That seems fine. Now look at me. I'm going to think about attacks before I do anything else. I again would trade the Scorpion off, but at this point we're going to play a Bloodcaster. Yeah, Sharpshooter blocks decently enough here. And so yeah, I'll do Bloodcaster, Sharpshooter, and I will attack again with the Scorpion. And look, I'll do it at the right time now. Oh, well, they're not going to block. You're right, Alexis, I should have. Alexis is totally correct. I'm still... it was a mistake not to cast this, but I'm going to follow through with the attack because I don't think they're blocking. It's only 1 point. Still a mistake not to play this out first. Don't give them the... don't let their mistake not be a reward for us, right? I think it would have been a mistake to block, but sometimes people make mistakes and then we would have not capitalized. Sometimes people make mistakes, not me. In the last 5 seconds. Maybe instead of a punt counter, that's what I need. There's been N turns since the last punt. Thank you for that sub, much appreciated. So this is somewhat of a free attack since it's a bounce block from our perspective and they have the open mana and we don't. But at 20 to 18, even though this is probably just a bounce block and we block and save 3, I really want to at least get the first counter on this, so I'm just going to take it and not even risk it. Mike likes blocking. Mike likes blocking, but yeah, I like the guaranteed train, and then we can leave it back on D and see if they're still interested in that offer. Or we can block with Hero's Downfall up. That would be nice as well. Now, hold on a minute. How many times do I have to beat Edgar today? I'm going to play this swamp because I know we're going to want to. We're at 6, closing in on 7. We could let it go to dark and then be sure to get our demon going next turn. That's one way to beat Edgar. Just get a million demons up in the air. But we can at least attack with the Bloodcaster and then leave everything else back. Was going to send the Sharpshooter. I still could. But it gets it, you know, they could double block and it would kill it. Are you not even attacking? I hear Mike and Pablo saying pass. That kind of implies don't attack. You're not leaving this back to block, though, are you? I'm going to attack. If you leave this back to block, you can explain why as I move on. But we're passing to turn it into nighttime. Yeah, they might not block with Edgar for the similar reasons we were that I was not blocking with my Sharpshooter. But by making it nighttime, we now have 7 ready for our demon, and the demon just takes over so quickly. They need to kill it before we hit our end step, or the game's basically over. Yeah, I want demon fodder. Does this have lifelink? Yeah, with no lifelink, we just take 4 from Edgar. Yeah, 2 spell would be unfortunate, but maybe we even find a basic and then it's still okay. We still have outs in that case, but I'm saying no blocks here. I'm truly on, go ahead, hit us with a 4/4. We're going to either make a million 6/6s in the air and win, or we're going to lose. That's what's happening here. So I'm just going to take it. It's true. We do have the tools to blow out a trick. And they probably have that because why would they risk Edgar? But I mean, you would risk Edgar because it comes back as a... Yeah, because it's a bomb. Do we want to downfall something here? I'm going to say... You want to downfall the Edgar? Yeah, we could... I like casting Downfall to probe for interaction. That's true. If they counter, we go to daytime. The call from Alexis. Okay, so I'm going to... Yeah, I like that. We don't want it to go to daytime. Let's just make sure we get our demon down. Demon days, indeed. I don't think people generally splash for counter spells. Maybe you would in this format for some reason. I don't know. I don't think of counter spells as the reason people are splashing for blue. We're going to make them have it here. I guess I can attack first, though. But, yeah, let's... Because then if they do have... Maybe they use removal on the Bloodcaster or something. Oppo. Yeah, baby. How many Edgars will we beat? Current count is 2. They interacted with their concede button. Got some gems from that, all right. I don't know if the Mana Dork pauses without something to cast. Most Mana Dorks don't generate auto pauses at every possible place that you could add mana to your mana pool, obviously, or even the traditional stop points. Nice keep. That one does. Okay, maybe that... In the abstract, though, I think what I said is true, but they're case by case all over the place when it comes to Magic implementation. It's a big part of my job and what I was trying to bring to the Arena team. Alexis knows, like, when I started on the Arena... I say Arena team, on the Magic Online team. When I started on Magic Online, there was very... The process of set development was R&D hands-off... big load of information for Magic Online. Full stop. That was it. And working with people like Alexis on the online team and R&D on the R&D team, we built much better bridges to work out those kinds of things. I'm going to start with a flyer. Not duplicate protecting rares. I mean, they do duplicate protect rares when you open boosters. And the reason to not do duplicate rare protection during draft is because you want the sanctity of the draft experience. Oh, the ICRs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the spreadsheet math is on that one. Lee Sharp does. So do we offer a trade so that our scavenger does stuff? Again, I guess we get a blood token out of it. That's worth it, especially since we might want to rummage away some of this excess land. There's a temptation here to just really, again, want to get that odious witch value, but I gotta take the value I'm getting. And now, interesting. Obviously a land, we're gonna get rid of a swamp. But then what else? Do we just want to go aggressive and hope we draw land and keep our action? Or we get rid of a scavenger and then we know we have land scavenger for sure for next turn? Both land is the greed play, but we do have a blood token to somewhat validate that greed. I was leaning ensure the play, so says Mike. And yeah, that's true. We do. Instead, we can use the blood token to ditch the excess land if that's what we end up drawing. Okay, I'm with Mike on this. I'm going to do that. That's what I was leaning anyway. Right, and to go back to that point, for some players like Media, like me, I appreciate that those cards produce gems sometimes. Now let's... When another control dies, so we're not going to do this now. We're going to max our mana. Individual card rewards. It's the term for these random free cards you get sometimes. Hey, remember that we're splashing white? Well, now we could rummage away our land, but it's our splash color, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to play it and play the farmer, and we'll hold on to the blood token. But we can start with it. Well, with farmer liking things dying, I shouldn't wait. I'll play this pre-combat in case they've got... I mean, the thing is, if they have instant speed removal, they're going to do it in response to the harvester, but there are in white... I mean, they're not playing white. White has combat-only type removal that you really want to get this out ahead of. But in this case, it really probably doesn't matter. Either they have the removal and they use it before the farmer lands, or they don't have the removal. Blood Fountain. Only one thing in the yard for now. We could loot that away, but that seems like too much value to give up. Here's the one I was thinking about, the Innocent Traveler. And now I could sacrifice, like, the Scavenger if I wanted to flip the Farmer. Why do we do this pre? Is there any reason to do this pre-combat? Blood token. What are we doing with blood tokens? I don't understand why you want to do this pre. Or you're saying those are the two things we do this turn. Swing All and Fountain. I assume you mean those are just the two things we do this turn, which I agree with. We're going to... although, yeah, we can swing away there too. Was worried suddenly that we're sending this in to die, but... it looks like we might, well, they're just blocking one of the two. This is their only block, never mind. There is a single green combat trick, that's all I was thinking about. So, we can give them the 3/3, or we can ditch the Scavenger and flip to a large Farmer. With them at 6, I think I like the large Farmer. And then we can get Scavenger back off of the Blood Fountain anyway. And it stays... oh, and it's 5/3 because I have a human. Yeah. Well, wait. How does that work? I don't know how that means. What you mean by that? But I'm still doing this. Yeah, it stays at 1/3. That's the other thing. Okay, they get that. But it's destroy. We can just get it back. It can be our new new plan for the fountain. Scavenger and Farmer? Yeah. Although we could, the Recluse is looking good too, but Farmer is just too hard to beat long game. I don't know. Let's go Scavenger for the damage. Yeah, I think sacking Scavenger is correct. It flips the flyer, keeps this on the ground, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to use blood. We're gonna flip our caster. That's the plan. I'm going to hold this though. You don't like sack? But then we don't win next turn if we give him a flyer blocker. Well, but then we have two creatures. But yeah, if they play it, yeah, I'm going to do it. I hear your concern, Media, but I'm going to risk it for Biscuit. Media might be right. This could lead to a loss if they have the right card. But I feel like they play a ground blocker. If they make a flyer and then play a ground blocker, we're in a similar didn't get their spot. So there you go. This is exactly what Media was worried about. Can we do anything about this? So it just dies? All right. Well, now we get to rummage away a swamp. All right. All right, all right, all right. Unfortunately, we got our Bloodcaster exiled, but we do have something we can get back, and it just wins the game. Do they have a dead thing? Oh, no, they don't. Shoot. So I think we actually go ahead and just play something to die, so then we shock them next turn. Oh, we have blood tokens. Right, right, right. But then we can't cast this. You don't cast it, you use the ability when you discard it. I don't understand what you're saying. Oh, right, so... But we don't have anything to drain. Oh, we go farm. Yeah, right, right, right. Farmer. That all costs too much, though, gang. So we discard a farmer. We use 1 of our 5. We cast this. We use 2 of our 5, and then we have 3 mana. So if we can't get there this turn, I'm just going to play the farmer. Yeah, I shouldn't have let the get me. I'm not going to activate this anyway, though. My plan is just that this dies and we win. And we make it die. Well, I think I'm going to win. Maybe there was a cleaner way to do it. But I have a line. And there we go. We got there. Obviously, this card is great, and anybody who would doubt that, I don't know what they're even thinking. Auto Tapper is a lot tougher of a problem than you probably think. It has gotten so much work, and it eventually just has a bunch of states where there's a bunch of competing priorities, and it's going to get those priorities wrong sometime. But all of your plans for fixing the Auto Tapper, just break it somewhere else. Why do we need 1 more land? I don't understand. I'm like not on the same page with people today. Was it right to go for that? I suppose maybe it was right to go for that because we still play the farmer if we miss. That's fair. I think I didn't really process that we had a land drop. I was just doing my math on 5. All right, I'm going to play 1 more with this deck, and then I'm actually going to call it a stream. We've gotten to see some fun with this deck, have some fun with this deck, and see it do its thing. Play our bombs. Haven't played our splash bomb yet, but gotten my fun out of this deck for sure. So there's something we could gift. Might as well. I don't know what they're up to here, but I mean, the reason not to is that you're just going to play something that can block it, but it has threat of activation. That means we're not going to block it. And I'm just going to curve out here and do this. they probably play something better, but we're going to Taxidermist next turn. So I'm also just thinking, like, if things go our way, we're not going to necessarily have the room for it, because we can go Taxidermist into, well, I guess we could do Taxidermist into Sharpshooter, hold it up, or use it then. Technically, we could, like, we go Sharpshooter and then turn 3 go Taxidermist, turn 3 Sharpshooter, kill Wolf. That would have been fine too. No regrets though. This is a fine choice, if narrow. I didn't really think it through again too much more than my heuristic is ramping, fixing creatures, beat out basically anything else on 2. Yeah, we got the Colossal Dreadmon back-to-back sets. At least. I know that one for sure. There's probably others. Giant Growth, something like that. Yeah, Giant Spider, probably in 2 sets. You just need, like, some regular set that chose to have Giant Spider before or after a core set. Well, and there's a reason to want this back, right? Oh, it's a vampire, so there you go. This is more meta told you so's, right? You can't, this would not kill the vamp, but, you know, I also told you so in that we've had, it's turn 3, and we've already had 2 targets for Gift of Fangs. So, what are we doing here, though? I like Sharpshooter, and then we have Undying Malice held up. And if they send the Gatekeeper, I am snap double blocking. They wouldn't. I don't know why they would. I guess we didn't need a double block. We could just single block with the Sharpshooter, which is why they're not going to attack. Oh, they are. Well, with the Undying Malice, I'm going to make him have it. Or basically fade the first one via Malice, and then we get a 2/5 to threaten blocks next turn. But obviously this is a trick. First strike, or Wolf Strike. Okay, sure. Well, if they didn't before, they do now. Nothing dead in the yard. Oh, Snarling Wolf is dead. There you go. So we can go get the Snarling Wolf. Recluse wants a discard anyway. We don't have that going. No, I don't think it's a reprint. It just looks like a lot of cards we've seen. There was the, what was it called in Forgotten Realms, you know, Feign Death, thanks, Hat. Scavenger. Send the Sharpshooter? Nah, keep the Sharpshooter back. If anything, send the Taxidermist at this point. It's not blocking anything, and it telegraphs we don't have another trick or 1-mana spell, but it's a damage. I'll take it. Also, I keep forgetting this awesome meme.
How are we doing this? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. Where is it? I lost it in the sun.
Now kind of want to slow down on lands while this feller is out. Need a blood token. I guess we're just playing the Recluse and passing. Yeah, all the others are expendable, right, Hat? don't know, Chris Rock I haven't been thrilled with of late myself. Hero's Downfall. Well, there you go. Probably need to just take out the sharpshooter at some, but maybe we don't. Maybe we're just in hold mode here. I mean, they killed our creature, but whatever. We're still just sitting here. I don't really have any anywhere to go after we downfall, so I'm just going to hold the downfall. Nighttime, I guess, gives them a little mana advantage or whatever, but yeah, I guess with their stuck at 4, that's somewhat relevant, Mike. But I suppose if in a green deck, if it's going to do anything, it'll help them power out some big creature that we can downfall. So whatever. I like holding the removal rather than expending the best removal spell in our deck because we don't want it to be nighttime. They're getting some value out of blood here. Although they're pitching lands, so maybe they're just a low curve deck and don't need the extras. I know that feel. Like, maybe they have a few 5s or 6s or whatever, but have my philosophy, which is, still pitch the lands. You're going to draw lands eventually anyway, and plus the werewolf giving you extra mana. They don't really need it here if they can operate on 5, which looks like they can do quite handily. Scavenger, do we have... I think we're out of... Oh, we have one in our yard. Although we have graveyard recursion that makes us maybe not necessarily want to scavenge our own thing as long as we're stable anyway. They could get to the point of starting to attack here, though. If we... Maybe I go... Yeah, we could send in the scavenger, scavenge the scavenger, but I still kind of want... Well, they enable it for us. I mean, it's enabled already. We have a recluse. It's not that we don't have a thing to... But you want to... Yeah, maybe they'll block and then we can get their thing. Yeah, what would they block with, though? What are they happy to trade off here? Maybe this... All right, well, since they might trade with the Ridge Wolf, we'll send in the Scavenger. I think you're right, they just take it, Rob, but they might not. And now I like, well, now we could Hero's Downfall... the Gatekeeper, play a land and play the Scavenger and not take any more damage and get more on the board here. We could just exile our own dude. I'm also just thinking, like, do we want to take more pain from the Gatekeeper? We can also just, yeah, scavenge our own dude and hold the downfall still. All right, let's do that then. Oops. This way. We have black open, we have taxidermist, so it doesn't really matter. It only matters if I play the land to hold up downfall, and I don't want to play the land into this creature right now just to have downfall up. If they play something now that we want to downfall, we can untap and downfall it. Look at all those lands they've rummaged away. Yeah, I would have scooped there too, Ryu Power. I guess Ryu Power had somewhere to go. That might happen in this format a lot more, since there's no loss penalty. Yeah, so if you go, like, remember, the stakes here aren't the same as they are in a regular draft. There are people who are like, oh, my microwave finished heating my lunch, I'm out, right? Yeah. It's going to happen a lot. But what do I think of this format? I mean, what did it cost? Now I don't remember what. Oh, it's free, right? So that's a nice thing for them to offer for 48 hours. Sure, it's free. It's a way to grind your accounts without paying anything. I mean, it's quick draft, so it's not human draft. But, you know, get some free cards. We got some gems out of it via the card replacement thing. And again, I like that there's not a loss tracking thing here. This is just a... I like it when Wizards offers a free way to engage with the client in a way that allows you to clear quests and get your daily wins without it just being constructed. So that's what this is. You know, it's a phantom draft event that allows me to get a draft itch in without using any of my in-game resources across any of my accounts, while still doing my grinding on any accounts I choose to do this with. So might as well go do it. I mean, even if it's just like, I mean, if you find bot drafting completely worthless, which is fine if you do, because it's in some ways counterproductive to practicing with real humans, then this has nothing for you. But if you like just drafting, heck, you could even just draft and get a little bit of practice in drafting and get a little insight into the bots if you're someone who does come back around and wants to draft against the bots. I bet that this is whatever... Well, we'll see. I'm curious if we notice a big bot change between this initial implementation and whatever they do for the first full-on, pay-for-it Vow Quick Draft. We will see. All right. Thanks for hanging out, YouTube friends. We got at least 3 wins there. I don't know, 4 wins, something. It was fun. I did like the deck we had. That demon is busted. Really, the demon only ended like one of those games, but the deck did what we wanted it to do. Right on. Nice. All right. Bye, YouTube friends.